Thank you. Hello, good morning to you, our cherished viewers. You're live on Fire Service TV. It's another beautiful Tuesday morning, and the program here is Safety Matters. Your safety matters. Week in, week out, we bring you issues concerning your safety, and we update your knowledge and advance it in matters of safety, how to keep yourself and your family, your environment safe. We are happy that you are joining us today live on Fire Service TV, where we ensure safer communities, and the program is Safety Matters. I am ADO1 Joan Ejay. We'll go for this quick break. We shall return.
I came across power safety technology. So I introduced that into our residents, who are more than 4,000. And over the period, they have testified how power safety technology have saved them when the need arises.
Power safety. Safety is our hallmark.
Welcome back, cherished viewers. The program is Safety Matters. Your safety matters. This will come your way every news according to Fire. Today with me in the studio we have Deputy Kwating. He was a director in Ghana National Fire Service, and he's also a consultant. He has joined us today as well. Welcome, sir. Thank you very much for joining us.
Please.
Then next to Deputy, we have DO1. We have DO3.
Congratulations.
Why are you afraid of the rank? We have DO3, Desmond Aka. He is Deputy PRO, National PRO, Ghana National Fire Service. He also joins us on today's program. Before we delve into today's discussions, sir, on Sunday we experienced a bit of a shake-up in the fire service in terms of our personnel. The fire officers from Kade Fire Station, whilst responding to an emergency within their catchment area, were involved in an accident, and 7 of our men, unfortunately, sustained varied degree of injuries. You know, these are some of the things we go through as firefighters. We are going to save the people we work for, and in the process, we ourselves get affected. Who rescues the rescuer? Duaka. Can you please give us an update on our personnel?
All right. A very good morning to our cherished viewers. Unfortunately, last Sunday, as you've already said, the fire tender at Kade Fire Station, whilst responding to an emergency, got involved in an accident, and as a result, 7 of our men were injured. Fortunately for us, 1 person on board the vehicle escaped unhurt.
Good.
And that was a good news for us.
Yes, indeed.
But the 5 were sent to the St. Dominic's Hospital at Akutia. And then the other 2 were also sent to the Kade Government Hospital. The 2 whose condition were critical are out of danger now. Yesterday, Chief Fire Officer and some management members were able to go to the scene to assess situations for themselves, get first-hand information, and then continue to the hospital to the 7 injured were doing. Okay, the 5 various institutions and yesterday. Hospital. The 2 the medical they become to inform us also is that the of any
situation. Refreshing news. Charged today. That is very dangerous. Those people who think that our
quite a risky job. Investigation is ongoing, and the fire truck, because if I stand for correction and managed, and I want to and looking at this.
And gotten new
they
ones.
have to manage. As it drivers should be oriented and made to engine. That's my only
all indications. We think people, isn't it? That is why it's to save others. We say that may yes. Life must be. We have to also do our job here. Discussions on safety policy deputy. Let me.
that talks about what to be. That most companies have what we call mission and the mission. The forces, part of it is not human. What I mean is that safety policy.
So it is.
So before you get a fire safety
with the employee.
Policy statement, and you go and talk. Most companies are concerned. There are a lot of theft cases in the top management. Fighting the fire and assist.
To have that in as much as they need
says that this said most companies are not ordered to enforce to conduct business. Safety a culture in this country. Understand the role of working environment, allow such companies,
your publics.
Oh sure, a daily kind of practice.
Discussion to have. We have if safety and security and still achieve if you apply certain things. That is what we are discussing. In your television right now, you don't have an excuse. Very much for joining us. What will be the objective of it?
If the business related issues, you get it. In a way that will, and he used a word, sorry, that fire safety is a shared responsibility.
Indeed.
So if we have a statement pasted within the premises, which is part of your policy, that here you're safe from fire. I get me.
Yes, sir.
It's a catchy word that you put there, that everybody knows that he enters and he's quite safe. So it will be based, the purpose that you want to achieve, that anybody who comes is safe from fire and other fire-related issues. When we talk about fire-related, you could have fire as a result of force majeure out of God, maybe lightning, thundering, or rainstorm, or anything that can.
Yeah.
It's not directly fire, but they are related to that. Or you could be in the office, or he comes to the place, and then all of a sudden you have bee attacking the people, maybe in the hospital or somewhere like that. They are all emergency-related issues.
Oh, okay. So we are not talking specifically about fire.
Fire.
We're talking about safety in general.
In general. So you look at it, but then you put that statement in there, and the person feels comfortable. Comfortable.
So in a way, it even benefits the organization.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Because anybody who comes, I've been saying this always. There's a third party liability that the company must avoid. The third party liability. Nobody should come into your premises and get wounded or get hurt. You owe the person a duty of care. That is why these fire safety policies and these things are in place to make sure anybody who comes there is safe. So you should have a statement.
Elsewhere, I understand that some people even they can press charges for getting hurt in your premises.
But it's happening now, don't you know? It's not about fire, but it's happening. Some people go to hospitals, then they are charging them for negligence.
Okay, the last
now
time
the Ghanaian is becoming litigious. It's becoming litigant.
Yes.
So the little son, if I come into your room, I get hit, I will go and see my lawyer and you advise, and I will come and I will send you to court and take money from you.
There was a case in the news relating to this where there was I will not mention the thing, but some people got some food from somewhere, and then they thought that as a result of that food, they had certain consequences, and they won the case against them. So same can be applied in the case of fire.
Yes,
third
party liability is there. So that's what I'm telling you, that you must have the policy. You say that this is the purpose I want to achieve when it comes to fire and related issues.
Okay.
So you say somebody, whoever comes to my premises is safe. So you put that statement there. And then it comes one of your core values. That's every organization has core values. Fire service, you have your core values.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
We do.
The gold step.
Yes.
They are your core values.
Yes, gallantry, observation, and
very
all of
good.
that.
So we expect that any fireman who follows that core values will not get hurt. And you also do that so that anybody that you go to support, you are paying sympathy. You are helping the third party in that aspect. So when it comes to fire distance, the core value should also be part of, the fire safety should be core value of the company. So you add it to your core value. And then you make a statement and policies to relate to meet that challenge that you have set.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Dio, so safety policy within an organization, who should it affect? Who and who are supposed to be covered by this policy?
Well, for any organization to achieve monumental success, it behoves on them to get this safety policy. first of all, there must be a commitment from management that they want to safeguard the lives of, especially their employees. So management, one, and then also the employees, the workers of the company. It behoves on them to also embrace it and to work with whatever policy that it is that it's supposed to protect their lives. And then also we have visitors. You know, no company operates in isolation. There may be some clients who may be trooping in here and there. And then there are also some contractors or stakeholders that come in as and when required to perform a task or a function within the organization. So basically these are the groupings or the kinds of people that the safety policy directly has an impact on. There must be a commitment on the part of management that we hold your safety in high esteem. And then also the workers must also buy into it. Like Deputy said, the core value, it must be part of the core value so that anybody who works in that organization feels a part or contributes to ensuring that that actually is actualized within their working environment. You know, without safety, it becomes very difficult for work to move on smoothly. When safety is adhered to within any work environment, accidents are prevented, fires and related emergencies are also, loss of man hours, all those things are prevented, and it also saves the company a lot of money. Like Deputy said, people are now beginning to be assertive on their legal rights. So once you are compliant with the safety policy within that jurisdiction, it helps you to avoid legal fees and penalties that are associated with non-compliance. And then also, when the workers also buy into it, it promotes a particular culture that binds them together. You know, like he said, that there should be a statement boldly printed on the walls, on the forecourt, or whatever space that is available, so that as soon as you enter that particular premises, you feel a sense of
assurance
that your safety is guaranteed. If something should happen, there are leeways for you to get out of danger and all that. And it also adds to the reputation
of the
company.
Yes, because I know that on one of the episodes of this show, one of my guests said that he had to be called into a particular incident where some people who are expatriates who are supposed to be lodging at a particular place refused to lodge because they didn't see certain things in place. And elsewhere, I think that it works. We are still growing. That is why we have Safety Matters for you. So if you are watching us live on Fire Service TV, you are at the right place. You are at the right place. Today we are discussing safety policy. If you are an employee, don't say that you are not an employer so it doesn't concern you. Please, you are part of it. You are part of it because whatever a decision management makes affects you directly. And you stand to benefit or otherwise, depending on the situation. So you are here and we are happy to have you here. We are discussing safety policy. We have in the studios Deputy Chief Officer Retired Kwame Kwarteng and DO3 Desmond Aka, helping us to digest this very important topic. Like I said, the employee is forms a very integral part of this policy. I've been learning from you. So what should we do when I'm going to apply for a job? Can I ask such questions? Do I have to look up those things? Because see, sometimes more often than we are only concerned about the remuneration we get, but in the long term, these things come to affect us. To what extent can I push as an employee?
Okay, thank you again. Just to add to what Aka said, you know, it's not a matter of assuming
that I'm a manager and this is what I have to do on safety issues. Or neither is it I'm an employer and this is what happens, what I should do on safety issues. Neither the contractor. That's why I said it's coded and written. So the document, each of this has a responsibility to do. So if I'm a manager, then it requires that I must make sure that the policy is implemented. I've provided funds to do this. Then the employer too is also given an education that if you are here, you have a supervisor or an instructor who will take you through fire issues. Therefore, you too have roles and responsibilities to play. If you are also a visitor or a client, the person at the security point will tell you, don't do this, don't go here, don't go here. You must also follow. So all these things are written down for you to follow. So if there's a problem and it goes to court and they ask, what is your safety policy there? You have to bring that document out.
So there can't be a verbal safety policy?
No. That's why we say it should be coded. It's a document. In some areas outside the country, when you enter the premises, they have a fire safety policy box. It's like a fire container or a container.
Yes, sir.
And that document is kept in there and locked for security reasons. So whoever is required to know much about that, they open the box for you to see and read what policy. So you asked a good question. You are looking for a job, but it is the responsibility of whoever takes you that this is if this is a policy I have on safety. So you must be given an induction training. It's a responsibility of the employer to give you an induction training, walk you through all the means of escape, tell you all the notices that are on the premises to make you safe far. So it is not you are looking for the job for your money. But it's a responsibility of whoever has also employed you that don't come and die or hurt yourself within this place. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes.
So he takes you through that. So you don't have to worry ahead. But if you are not taking through from your experience or anything, you can ask them, please, do you have a safety policy? Maybe you might have a nice manager to answer it. You might have a nice...
Are you sure you won't get sacked?
So that's what I'm saying. The first question of that what you ask will mean that you're in for to give them trouble. Are you getting what I'm saying?
You must be worth your salt. I tell you, before you can ask that, you have to be worth your salt.
You can ask. But it is a responsibility of the company to take you through all those fire safety things so you know what to do at any point in time.
Thank you very much, sir. It's still Safety Matters. Thank you very much for joining us this Tuesday morning. We are discussing safety policy. We have in the studios Deputy Chief Officer retired Kwame Kwarteng and my own Deputy PRO DO3 Desmond Aka. Thank you for joining us and watching so far. We'll go for this quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Do stay.
I came across power safety technology. So I introduced that into our residents, who are more than 4,000. And over the period, they have testified how power safety technology have saved them when the need arises.
Power safety. Safety is our hallmark.
You're still live on Fast Service TV. It's Tuesday and it's Safety Matters. It's that time of the week where we bring you safety, unadulterated safety information that will keep you safe and your other dependents safe as well. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you are dropping your comments on Facebook and all our other social media platforms. Very soon, open the phone line so that you can join us with your questions and your comments. Kindly drop your comments for us. We will read them out to you. Do you need to ask anything? Do you need to contribute anything? What do you want to know? We are here for you. We have what it takes to answer all your questions. It's Safety Matters here. Deputy, sir. There's this adage in Chi that's a quanshua DFA, this kind of eto. Or is that not how they say it?
That's almost the same.
Yeah, this kind of eto.
Kwacha DFA. Kwanchen DFA.
Yeah, this kind of.
That's right.
Safety policy. Does it involve money? And if it does, on whose head is this money? Who should the funding come from?
That is an issue, but I also want to find out death and money. Which one will you prefer? Injury and paying for what do you call it, legal fees and things. Which one would the company prefer? What has been the problem has been that every company in this sense is profit making oriented. Anything that will reduce their profit, they find it difficult to implement. In doing fire safety policy, it involves a lot of procedures and it costs effective. It's very costly. Sorry to use.
Very costly.
Very costly. Now, you have to be doing evacuation drill. You have to be doing training periodically. In doing the training and distance, you are going to spend money.
Yeah.
You also have to let the people know how to use the fire extinguishers, so on and so forth. You have to use the extinguisher, you have to expel the products, and you have to go and do a refill.
Yeah.
Now, periodically, you have to bring in people to come and do risk assessment.
Which we'll discuss in the course of this.
So you're going to, everything that you are going to ask for on the policy or on the funding are going to drain the company's profit.
Yes.
And they also have in mind that we have been here for so many years. There's no fire here. Every year you are bringing a budget like this. You are asking people to service the fire extinguishers. You're asking people to go and renew our fire certificate. You're asking us to do this. All you're asking for is what? Withdrawal. So it becomes difficult. And you need a manager who has gone through safety or policy issues to understand you, to release that money. That's why I said that if it's not part of their core job or core thinking, releasing the money becomes a big problem. So funding is difficult.
But it's a management function. It's management that has to release funding for safety policies.
Yes. Now you see that maybe the production has changed. You need to install maybe a sprinkler system. It's money. Detection and warning system is money. The firefighting equipment must be maintained. Is money. So, because all this, the policy contains all this: fire prevention, fire protection equipment, training, all those in there, and you must test it, and all must be put at a cost. So, buying a CCTV camera to take care of the place once one funding is not comfortable with it, apart from periodic maintenance. But the fire one, it continues. Servicing, maintenance, training, drills, this, that, and it always involves money going on. So that has been the problem. So that's but the management must be part of. If the decision is taken by management, they will find the money and do it. Or unless, I don't want to say this, but sometimes I give you an example. In most corporations, the manager is at the top. And the junior ones are the ones who get out of the place faster, and he is there. So I always say, in case the manager's office is on fire, they should experience that. If they experience that thing on the top floor, I think this time when you talk to them about fire safety, they will understand.
I know that you want to give our valuable lessons. We actually don't.
But
I'm sure Deputy doesn't wish this on you. But I'm
telling you, because
handicapped.
Where they are, they think they are in heaven. They are in a safe position
Yes.
compared to those. So they always think that the fire will happen at the
Yeah.
lower floors, but not their office. But that's where they are they are in danger more than those at the lower floor.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
we need the safety officer, if they employ maybe a retired fire officer or somebody who understands fire safety, then they are able to convince.
Them.
Or he has to see somebody in uniform like the fire officer coming to talk to him about fire safety and say, do this. Then you do it. Or he carries it. He taught something I was quite happy with about having to enforce. The fire service, you have to enforce the code of practice. So in the code of practice, you write that every organization must have a fire safety policy reviewed and accepted by fire service, maybe on gratis or at a fee.
Yes.
So in that particular code of practice, which has been gazetted, is a law. So when the person hasn't gotten it, then you can then whip the person. Definitely they will have it in place. So that's what I'm trying to advocate.
Yes.
That go to the code of practice and get that thing there and becomes a law. So that you can then go and enforce. As I said, we know what is happening in the country. If you do make any action, they will ask you, is it constitutional or unconstitutional?
Yeah.
So you must have something to back you to be able to do that. So you can have it. You can have the policy in place, and then you have the code of practice that states that you must have it. They will do it.
Exactly. Sir, to I say, sir, sometimes Deputy has said that this comes from the profits being made by the company. Acknowledging that, yes, you lose some money to ensure the safety of your property and your personnel. I'm asking you this of you because you are a PRO. Help me convince my viewers that the money that we sometimes use to ensure the safety is not the same amount of money we lose when our property goes down or is raised down. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. One thing that we have failed to come to terms with as a people in this country is that we should not forget the fact that we cannot place any value on any human life.
Not at all.
And therefore, company owners and managers should understand that it pays to always ensure that your working environment is safe for business continuity. When that happens, it saves you from a lot of troubles. For instance, if let's say you have a factory that you are producing, let's say an X product, X amount, and that entire production line is gutted by fire, or there is an earthquake where the whole structure crumbles, where people or lives are injured and your business collapses. First of all, do you know that it is going to cost you a lot to rebuild? It's going to cost you a lot to put up the burnt portions of the factory.
Yes.
For instance, if an employer or some workers get injured in the process, the medical bills alone, the lost effective man hours.
Yes.
I mean, you can't put value on that.
Yes.
That is the more reason why we would always advocate. And this program has come at such an opportune time to bring to the fore, this kind of awareness. We are creating this awareness so that when it gets to the time where we are enforcing these codes that we have been drumming home for the past 60 years, we would understand that the Ghana National Fire Service will not be witch hunting anybody. Just that we want the right thing to be done. We want our working environment to be safer, so that people can feel at ease to do business, to rake in more profits for business continuity. If we understand it this way, we would always not care about the cost, how much it's going to cost, because in the long run, it is going to save or help us recoup more. For instance, you go and buy a rickety car at an affordable price, and you are spending huge sums of money in maintaining it. If you calculate the amount of money that you spent in a year in maintaining it, compared to buying a new car or a brand new car, which will cost you less or probably will take a very long time for you to maintain, you would see that you'll be making a lot of gains. You'll not be wasting a lot of time with the mechanics, to the extent of even cursing your mechanic for charging you exorbitantly for maintaining your car. So I think we should come to terms with the fact that safety should be part of our daily life. It should be part of our organizational culture. Without it, businesses will not flow as it ought to be.
Thank you very much, sir. It's Safety Matters here on Fire Service TV, and we are happy to welcome you on the show. We are discussing safety policies. If you have joined us, well, you have lost a few details, but you can always go back and then follow us on Facebook or and all other social media platforms, and you get every detail of what we are discussing here for your benefit. We are saying that let's not always see one side of the equation. Let's balance it all the time. Don't only look at the profit you are making. Sometimes take a minute and think about it. Papa, now I dream bonnet. Should this thing happen to me right now, would this company still be standing here erect as it is? This is what you make money from. If fire should raise it down this minute, where will I be? This my building that I slept in and woke up today. If fire should raise it down today, where will I sleep? Is that the amount of money you spend to maintain it or to ensure that it's safe? Can it be compared to what you go through should that unfortunate happening occur in your life? So this is Safety Matters. We are discussing safety policy. You are welcome. Deputy Sir, you mentioned safety officer. I intentionally kept quiet because I knew I would come back to you so that you tell us what a fire safety officer is doing in this equation. What is the role of a fire safety officer in a fire safety policy? Who is he? Who is she? What does he do? What does she do?
Okay. Fire safety officer, it's person who is designated by the organization and have gone through formal training, either external or internal or on the job, who understands how to maintain the fire extinguisher, how to check, how to take them through fire drills, and so on and so forth. So the person must be trained.
By who?
By an institution organized maybe by fire service or any accredited institution that has the mandate or accreditation to train a fire safety officer.
Okay.
So if the fire service has accreditation to train fire safety officers and certify them, then that person can be a safety officer. What the fire service has now is a fire inspector. The inspector is different from the safety officer because the law says that the fire service will have to be certified by the chief fire officer. So every fire safety officer, a fire inspector has a card. A fire safety officer does not have a card. in fire service before we left. So we didn't have the title fire safety officers. We had fire inspectors. But currently you have fire safety officers. Maybe based on assignment or kind of jobs that they perform.
Within the Ghana National Fire Service?
Yes.
Or outside the Ghana National Fire Service?
Outside the Ghana National Fire Service, a private individual company can have a safety officer by sending the person through a training program. And the fire service too, you have been issuing certificate of participation. So they organize the safety course or program for them on their compound, and then you issue a certificate of participation to them. So if the information given to them is adequate for the person to be seen as a fire safety officer in their institution, there's no problem with that one. But as far as I'm concerned, there's no institution in Ghana here who trains a fire safety officer. But outside, they have institutions that train fire safety officers, which are different from fire training for fire inspectors. But the fire service trains fire inspectors because that they are certified by the chief fire officer. That's what the LI 1724 has for you.
Okay.
So in an institution that has its own safety officer, either he was trained by fire service or he was trained outside, or he has gone through a form of training to understand.
Okay.
And the course content will show him what to do as a safety officer. In some institutions, they rotate them. On every day or within the week, there's always a safety officer on duty. So if you've been watching some of these videos on evacuation drills, you will see that when the evacuation process is going on, there's always somebody directing the people where to go, and he's the last person to follow and close the door.
So a company can have more than one fire safety
yes,
officer?
At least if you are running about 3-4 shifts, each shift must have its own safety officer.
So a safety of somebody within a company can be identified
and
then brought to the Ghana National Fire Service for training.
Yes.
So that he can be a fire safety officer within that company or establishment.
Yeah, for the establishment.
Oh, okay.
So you're clear now. So he works for that establishment. He's a safety officer designated for particular purpose, for fire outbreak or fire related. Then he has to draw his schedule and get his other people who are going to support him in doing the work there. Okay. So it could be in the main office, like for instance, public relations. You are the fire safety officer. Then you take the members, including your boss, through fire training. Fire, not that you're going to teach out, but you always have a periodic fire briefing.
Okay.
It could be once in the morning, once in a week. Some companies, they do it. The banks, they do it a lot. Every morning briefing. They have a briefing and then they talk about safety issues.
Our viewers want to join us in this conversation. Please, if you can join us on 050-960-8744. Join us on 050-960-8744 with your comments, and we are here. Call into the program and tell us what you want to know. Or ask us all the questions you want to ask us. We have what it takes to answer your questions for you. 050-960-8744. Deputy, kindly continue for me.
So he's after training or making them going through that process. Then he says this week from this day to this, Aka is in charge as the safety officer for the week.
Okay.
So anything that relates to fire or any emergency, Aka will have to be the lead.
Okay.
The next week, you put it, Afum, you are in charge as a fire. You have drawn the schedule, so they all follow. So in effect, if one is on leave or there's someone takes over, and the process continues.
Thank you very much.
So that is the person.
Before I come to what the fire safety officer within the company is supposed to do, what are some of the qualities? Can anyone at all be trained as a safety officer? What should we see in the person before we nominate the person for training as a safety officer?
Well, safety is very broad. Therefore, you don't just need anybody at all to train to become a safety officer.
Okay.
But most importantly, the person must be someone who is willing to be taught or to be trained to function as such. And therefore, you also need somebody who has keen interest in kind of observing things. There are people, when they see even danger, they cannot even recognize that this one is danger, so I must react or do a particular thing to avoid it or otherwise.
Okay.
So you need people who are ready to be trained.
And courageous, I guess.
Yes,
We should
and
see
you
those
need
traits.
intelligent people as well. And then you need people who are kind of smart and fit. Because some of the things you would have to do some practicals with it. For instance, if you want to douse a fire, you have to pull the hose reel, you have to find the extinguisher and all that. So there must be some form of physique also there, so as to be able to kind of give
In
the
fact,
needed
we
training.
say that you must be fit.
Sure. Must be fit to be able to do that.
All right.
So in a nutshell, these are some of the important qualities that must be seen in a person to be trained as a safety officer.
Okay, so by way of comments, our loved ones have been able to join us, and Joseph Dominic Ando is saying, oh, okay, thanks. And Ifia Amuakua Okain gives us fire. Yes, we get the sense that you like what we are doing. You want us to give you more fire, and that's what we'll do. Ofosu Kwabi is saying, nice one for your update. Yes, we are happy you can join us. And then Isaac Foley is saying, really enjoying the lessons. Keep it up, GNFS. Now, Isaac Foley again is saying, DCFO, you do all, one for you. And then Safe House Initiative is saying, good education, well done. We'll keep reading your comments. We are grateful that you are joining us. You can also join us via the phone lines on 050-960-8744. 050-960-8744. Deputy Sir, so 2IC has given us the qualities. What then what roles does this officer perform in the organization in relation to safety?
That's why I said earlier that it's always written, that's coded, that as a fire safety officer, the kind of training that you receive from whoever, the fire service, will tell you that you must perform maybe how to perform an evacuation drill.
Okay.
Then he takes you through what evacuation drills. Then he shows you how to draw a schedule or a timetable to conduct the evacuation drill. Then you're taught how to offer fire prevention measures at the workplace. Then that information is available to you. So when you come, you also impact that knowledge onto the people. Are you getting? So it's what you are taught to do is what you perform. For instance, it's your duty as a safety officer. You have a fire control panel in there. You have a logbook. You come in, then you find out. It's like the normal watchroom. What went wrong whilst we were out? Within this 30-40 minutes, there was power outage. So the system was off. It's recorded in the logbook. Now the system control panel has faults. Red light is giving false alarm. You go and look at it. You know who to call and who to come and rectify that particular situation. Then you record them in the logbook. So your functions and responsibilities will be detailed in the policy. And that is what you have been trained on to do. So you will not go beyond what has been assigned to you.
A fire safety officer is a small firefighter.
That is what...
A small firefighter.
No,
because you in the absence of the firefighter, who of course we don't, we are not as close as we are to the people. You can't find yourself in every premises.
Yeah.
And so here is somebody who has been trained to take certain actions in the absence of the fire officer or prior to the arrival of the fire officer.
No. You see, he will be trained in how to use a fire extinguisher.
Okay.
It's not everybody within the building who can use the fire extinguisher. Then he will also be told that he should attempt to fight the fire if it's not beyond him.
Okay.
So he's not there as a firefighter.
Of course, he's not a firefighter.
He's a first aid firefighter, if he can.
Okay.
That is why he's assigned as a safety officer for the week. So anything that requires, he must evacuate the people, get to where they are. They have to go and do their head count. And then he will have to find out if the number at the assembly point is less than the number that reported. Then he has to stand somewhere and be looking for fire service, or he has to enter and go and bring the person.
He has to enter and
That's
bring
why
the
he says the guy has to be strong and smart. You see, it's a difficult task, but he's not there to do firefighting.
Okay.
He's there to guide them in fire situation. What action? He can decide not even to touch an extinguisher, but be there to instruct that we are all safe. It's better for him than to go and risk himself. So he's not a firefighter.
Thank you very much, sir. Like I said, this show, please, producers, you consider adding some more minutes to this show for us. So all too soon, we are at the end of today's show as well. We have learnt a lot. Sir, kindly give me your concluding remarks.
It's a good program. What I want to say is that the policy must be approved by management. They should be involved. Each and every one must have its function to do. I will plead with my fire officers, especially the director of safety, to have the code of practice and add this fire safety policy.
Thank you very much, sir.
There.
Thank you. We shall continue on this topic next time. In 2 seconds, kindly give me your concluding words.
Well, as we have learned today, we need to make safety a culture. Wherever we find ourselves, we need to ensure that we practice safety. For companies, we in the Ghana National Fire Service will collaborate well with them to ensure that their policies are crafted to meet their visions and their core values, as well as ensure that they are periodically reviewed to meet the exigencies of the time.
Thank you very much. This has been Safety Matters. We have had Deputy Chief Officer Retired Kwame Kwarteng and DO3 Desmond Aka on the show today. And we have learned so much. We've discussed safety policy. We shall continue this discussion in our next meeting. Thank you very much for joining us with your comments, and we are grateful. I am ADO1 Joan Ejay. See you next week.